Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So today it is just a recap of the program, and I will show you about the advanced technique for dealing with the reference management. Because in this course, you have to write a proposal, and then in many cases in previous years, we found that many of the students don't understand about how to use the reference management software properly. So this class is for just to remind you about this software and how to deal with references in the manuscript. Okay. So actually, I think you've been all with this already. In any cases, so when you're writing down a manuscript, you need to conform with the publication guideline of each journal. So usually in Mahidol University, we use a Vancouver style. So in Vancouver style, to remind you that in the text area, you use the number, increasing from number 1, 2, 3, and so on until you reach the maximum number that you want to put the reference in. Okay. So the number should be in superscript, and sometimes some journal they allow you to use the brackets, but actually we want you to use the superscript. For Mahidol University's thesis, you have to use this kind of format. Okay, otherwise the university won't accept your thesis. Okay, and at the end, list of the paper to remind you that you have to carefully read what the program generates. This is very important because the program is not that smart. So sometimes they format your manuscript wrong, and you have to manually edit something. Okay, so this happens a lot. I mean, maybe because you have to retrieve the information from many sources, like from database, and sometimes maybe from the website, and sometimes the input source is not correct, and you have to manually check this before. Don't rely on the program all the time. You have to manually check each time you publish or you sending your thesis to the university, because they will check you again, and if that is problem, it will cost you. You have to come back and manually edit everything again. So whenever you finish your publication and ready to send, you need to take a look at each reference manually to check the program again. Okay, so to remind you, this is the format that the Vancouver system required. So it's the names of the authors in maximum of 6 people, and if it's more than that, you use et al. And then following with the title, with only the first word is capitalized, unless you have like a abbreviated text over there, and then the journal title should be abbreviated. Sometimes when you importing something from the database, it won't be imported as abbreviation. So this is to remind you that in the final one, you have to see whether it's abbreviated or not. Okay, so this is a lot of people having this kind of problem, because sometimes some journal is abbreviated and some is not. So you have to carefully see whether it's all abbreviated or not. Okay, and the books, you know how about to do this already. So right now we have a Note X9, so you already have it in the computer, right? So let's boot it up and see about the Note. Okay, so to recap, I will have you make a new library. Okay, and save it somewhere on the computer. Okay. Did anyone never use a note before? everybody is using it, right? Any problem of dealing with the importing of the data from websites? No, right? So let's try to importing from Scopus then, because last time we tried importing from the tablet, right? Okay. So importing from the Scopus, we go to scopus.com. Okay, I'll do a quick search here about maybe about the diabetic nephropathy. Right? Are you okay with this topic? Okay. So to remind you, okay, if you search correctly, you get about 4,000, right? In Scopus, when you want to import the result into the EndNote program, so first you have to select what you want to import into Scopus, from Scopus to EndNote. So if you can check, or you can check all. Okay, in Scopus, when you check on select all, you have two options. One is the only select all from this page, and the other one is select all the results. So it means about 14,000 results. So I just rather select on this page. Okay, Scopus has some limit when you want to export. So you cannot export more than about 1,000 results. Okay, so you have to be careful when you search with Scopus. So if you have the result more than 1,000, you may need to manually select from the year and then export year by year if you want to export more than 1,000 items. Okay, so for just to make an example, I just select on select page here. Okay, and in Scopus, when you want to move the data from Scopus to EndNote, you use the export command here. Okay, can you see this one? Okay, and in Scopus, you have the option to export the type. If you're using Mendeley, you can select here, but we're using EndNote, right? So we have click on this option, which is RAS format. Okay, and what about this one? So you have to select the information that you want to export. Usually I select all of these, okay, to get the abstract into EndNote also. And you have to deselect this one. Deselect this, include references from this one. Otherwise, it will do the cross-reference search, and it will also export the reference of the one that you are selecting. Okay, so it will be more than the one that you selected here. Okay, just select everything except this one. Okay, and then click on export. Okay, and then it will be downloaded this one. And you can just open it and it will be in the EndNote library. Okay. Can everyone do this one? The first thing that I want you to see is the journal names this time. So the journal names here, it is the journal that is not abbreviated in here. Okay. Whenever you import it, the data will come from the one that you imported, the source that you imported. So, for example, if you want to preview the Vancouver style, you select this one as Vancouver. Okay, this drop-down box on the top here, you select it as Vancouver, and you check on preview. So you can see that this one is abbreviated, but sometimes it won't be abbreviated. Okay. This one seems okay. However, I want you to check at one thing. To check whether it will abbreviate it normally or not, you can select on menu tools here. Everybody follow me? Okay. Menu tools here, and then you click on Open Terms List. Okay. And then you click on Journal Terms List. So you can see that in this dialog is what EndNote get the information from the one that you exporting from. In this case, they get this information from Scopus. So it means that whenever the journal name is biochemistry, right? It will be abbreviated as this one. Okay, so sometimes some database they export this information correctly. Other times it's not exported correctly. For example, this one it seems to be correct, right? But some use the period and some is not. So which is a little bit strange. Anyway, you can manually add the information in this dialog for some journal that is not abbreviated correctly. Okay. What I need you to do is you just delete the old thing that it get from Scopus here. Select all things here, and then click on delete term. Sorry. Okay. And clear this list first. Okay, and then you go to on the second tab here as the list here. Okay, and you click on imported list here. Okay, and this will be the list of journals that is abbreviated. Okay. You click on medical here. Okay. There will be one that called medical here, and click on open, and it will get back into the first tab. Okay. So now all the list here, it will be the abbreviation that will be used. Okay. Because EndNote do not provide this one at first, it will use the information that you get from the importing database, but you can manually set this as this way. So this is the first thing that I found that many students are having the problem with this one. So you need to manually set this one for each library that you created. Okay, each time you create a new library, this list will be clear. Okay, but if you're still using the old library, this one will be like this. Okay, it will. This is like a table of the translation of the full journal name into the abbreviated name. Okay, if you're having the because the Vancouver style that we are using for the Mahidol University, we require you to have abbreviation. So this is the first step that I found many people having troubles with. Okay. So when you click on close, it will use that information. Okay. So now it will be abbreviated correctly each time that you use. Okay. I would like to skip this one just to remind you that you can import from Scopus, PubMed, and so on that you use already. EndNote Web Capture is another option that you can use. So this is just to remind you that how you can import from PubMed, and you need to manually import it if you are having the result that is more than 200, right? You use the export as the other format, and you use the menu import here to import the file. Don't forget to select the option as the PubMed here. Okay, and this one is what we did. Okay, you have to select on this option, and you can have either all of the result. If your result is having like a 100 also like this, so you can just export all to the EndNote program. Okay. And don't forget that, sorry I didn't put it here, that if you click on include all reference, it will be more than what you selected, because it's the cross reference of each reference also that we get from Scopus. Okay. So you select this one if you just want the one that you select in Scopus. And from Google Books, you can, if you remember, just click on the EndNote button here, and you go directly into the EndNote program. Okay. And searching inside the software, I believe many people are not using this technique, right? So usually you do the citation search in PubMed first, and you get the result in PubMed, and you put it from there to EndNote directly. So I think that way is much better, because searching inside EndNote is very limited. You have to know exactly what the author name is, and what year it is, and what the journal title, exactly what it says. Okay. So this is how you import. And manually entering the reference, you just use this button, and it will gather a new dialog that you can type in everything that you know there. Okay. So the grouping, I believe you can use the grouping to group your items into group that you like it to be, so it's more organized. And smart group, you can specify the new group that is based on some conditions, like you want to group only the article that is published in previous year, so you can let the EndNote search for that in your library and put it as a new group. Okay. And the group set is used to organize, so the groups are in further group set. So if you have many groups and you want to combine the groups together, you can use the group set function to put it as organized. And this is the one for the duplication management. This is often used when you do a systematic review. Okay, so for example, if you want to do the duplication checking, okay, so you can use the menu reference and then find duplicates. Okay, it will find a duplicate within that folder that you are selecting. For example, if I want to see whether all reference are duplicated, I select on this one as all reference, and then click on reference and find duplicates. Okay, so usually no duplicate here. So one technique that you can do when you do a systematic review is that you put the result from Scopus in one folder. For example, I just put it here. I create a group that is result from Scopus, and I move reference to there, and then maybe I'll have a quick search at PubMed. Okay, so this is just a quick search. I'll get 20 of this. Okay. Sadly, that PubMed you have to manually check each one. Okay, and then click on Send to, right? And then Citation Manager, and then click on Create File. Okay, and I put it in another group called Result from PubMed. So now, when you have two results here, I will combine and find the duplicate one. So I'll get a new group here that is combined. And put the two over here. So now it's combined between the result from PubMed and Scopus. Okay, and I just find the duplication within this folder. Reference and then click on Find Duplicates. So now there are some duplicates, right? Okay. When you see this dialog after Find Duplication, it will let you whether you want to keep which one. But actually, when you do a systematic review, you want to keep both in order to retain the number. Okay, you got the result from PubMed 20 and from Scopus 20, and you want to see how many is duplicated, but you don't want to remove that item from that 20 because you want to see the number as you still have the 21. Okay, so you just click on Cancel from this dialog. Okay, and then when you click on Cancel, it will show only the thing that is duplicated here, and you move the thing that is duplication here into a new folder called Duplicated. So I click on this one and create a new group as a duplication. Okay, and I move the items that is duplicated into this folder. So one item is duplicated, right? Okay, so now you have all the item which is 40 in here and one that is duplication. So the one remaining without duplication would be this one minus this one, right? So the group that is 40 minus the group that is 1. Okay. So you can use the menu called Create from Groups. Okay. So the menu Create from Group lets you do the minus thing. Okay. Click on here and you click on the group that is combined and not in the group that is duplicated. So it will be the remaining article after checking duplication. Okay, so now it will be 39. Okay, so this one will be very useful if you do the systematic review because you can easily see that the result from PubMed is 20 and the result from Scopus is 20, and when you combine and delete the duplicate it's 39 without altering any of the result from PubMed and Scopus. Okay, the number won't be changed because you have not delete anything from the library. Okay, and actually you can but in the searching for duplication you have to be very careful more than this. Okay, this one is just the checking by the software. but actually you have to manually check by yourself also because as I said the software is just the screening tool so it's not the final thing because sometimes in the combined thing you can see that sometimes there still be duplication but the software cannot detect the duplication there so you should manually see this one also if you find that more duplication you just move into duplicated folder and then you do the same thing so it's the remaining after duplication folder I believe everybody understand about this okay sure sorry huh? I cannot hear you you create one have multiple database to do the same thing. So it's in the combine, you have to find it 80 times because you have many duplication between databases. This is for even with the items when you do in the systematic review. Anybody else have the question or no? Okay, and this is the settings for the find full text. Okay, I believe you already know about this, right? Yeah, just skip it because this is a basic thing. And about the word is okay. So I believe you can use the word already, right? And how to use it in Word, right? So next thing, I want to edit the style. So this time we have you on the edit of the style. Last time we did it together, right? Okay, how about how to edit the style? But this time we focus more on this part. Okay. Okay. In styles in a note, it's installed with 4,500 styles, and it's in the style folder. You can open to see which style is installed by clicking on menu edit, okay, and output style, edit output style, and then open style manager. Okay, and these are all the styles that you put in the A note. Okay, so in order to edit one of these, you select one of these and then click on edit. Okay, and you can edit many things. This is all the options that is according to this style rules. And usually what you need to see is this one, the template for the citation within the text here, to remind you if you can put, if you don't want the bracket, you want the superscript, you delete the brackets, and then you select this one and click on superscript here, so the format of the style will be superscript. Okay, but we have a look on this one also this time, about the bibliography template. Okay, this is a setting for how to format the bibliography in that style. Okay, first a note will see what items is in the library. So usually it's journal articles, right? When you put in, if for example if you got from PubMed or Scopus, it's journal articles. So it will take a look at how to format the journal articles by looking at the template for bibliography for this style. So in this one, so you can see that the journal articles is here. Can you see this one? Okay. Can you open this one in your EndNote? Okay. And you can see the template for the bibliography here. So this one, what is this meaning? So it means that if you put the author first and then followed by a period, okay, and then followed by a I think I need to zoom in. So you can see more. Okay, here. Okay, so you can see that it's author and then a period and then a middle dot. A middle dot is happen when you type in space. Okay, you have the space, so it will let you know that, oh, okay, there are two spaces there. Okay, in this settings. So usually you require only one space, just to show you that the middle dot mean the space. Okay, and then the title, and then it forced separation, and then this so it's this one here. I'll show you later. And then journal, and then year, volume, issue, and pages. So if you want to put it more, for example, the DOI. If you want to put the DOI of the journal, do you know about DOI, right? DOI means digital object identifier. So it's like a URL that you can search on the internet for this particular article. So if you want to do that, you can click on here, the insert field here. So when you click on insert field here, and you can get a lot of items that is in a note, and one of them is DOI here. Okay, can you see this one? So you can click on where you want to put it in, click on this one and click on DOI. So it will be in this one, or you can, if you remember, you can just type in DOI here. Okay, but you need to type in this way. Okay. So now it will put in the DOI after the period, after the pages. Okay. So I need to show you what does the meaning of that thing mean. Okay. There are many special characters. Okay. For example, the link text, which is symbol as the diamond shaped symbol here, is correspond. It's in the when you click on insert field here, a menu show many things other than just the field that is already in a note. It also shows some special thing like end of paragraph, tab, force separation, link, adjacent text, and singular plural. So one of the things that you use often are the link text, which is diamond shaped symbol, the force separation, which is the vertical bar that we see in the Vancouver style, and a singular plural, which is the caret character in this one. Okay. So the link text or the non-breaking space or the diamond shape symbol here, so it means that the field name, if it's left empty, it will not show the text that is linked together. Okay. For example, if you type in edition and then normal space and then ed, so whenever that article have the edition, so it will put in the number of edition from the database and then put in the text ed. But whenever that article don't have the edition, it will still put nothing in the edition here, but it will still show the ed here. Okay. So if you want the word to display only when this one is not empty, you have to link these two together with the diamond shape here, thing here. Okay. So this one will be displayed only when this one is not empty. For example, you go back to here and if you want to show the text DOI before the actual DOI URL, so you can put it like this page. Wait. So you can just put it like DOI, and then if you put it like this, sorry, it won't. If you want to put it like this, so it will be 2 DOI. That is another problem we will see later on in a minute. But if you put it like this, so it means that this one is the text DOI will be on the next to the DOI. It will always display the text. Okay. So what you need to do is DOI and then click on this one and then click on link adjacent text. So it's rather difficult to see a little bit, okay, but it's not the regular dot. It's now the small symbol of even this. I need to zoom in. So it's not the same thing, but it's the link text. It's not the same, only single dot here, okay? It's different than just the space. So this one will link together. It will display. If there is nothing in the DOI, it won't display anything, okay? Okay. And the force separation that you see, so a node will try to link the field that is separating together, For example, the author, the title, and journal here. If the issue is blank, then it will drop the volume. Okay. If two fields are putting together, so if one field is blank, then it will drop everything that is linked together. So if you want to separate the volume and issue, you have to use this symbol to separate between volume and issue here. Okay. Because if you use the space here, you will put a space over there, and sometimes you don't want the space, you just want the number of volume and then dot and then the issue. But if you want to separate it without putting space there, so you use this force separation. Okay. So if you go back and see what's happening here, so for example, year and then semicolon and then volume, right? If the paper have the year and also the volume here, it will display both, right? If it doesn't have the year, so it just display the volume. But if you drop this one, so it will only happen that it will put in the year. If it have either of this, so it won't display anything. Okay, if either one of year and volume is blank, so it's dropped completely. So this is one of the technique that sometimes you don't want to put anything in between, but if you want to happens to only something that is appearing, so you just use the force separation to make it separate and show whether each one is displayed. Okay. Come back to the DOI. If you want to display the word DOI, okay, you put on this one. You put the DOI which you want to put it as text, but not a field between the accent graves. Okay. The accent graves is on the same key as this wiggle character on the upper left hand corner of your keyboard. So this one you can just put it here, or because it's used just, if you don't want to make a mess with your computer, you can use the character map program in Windows, and it's this one. Not this one. This one. Okay. Copy here and then paste it here. Okay. So you type in something like this. So actually, if I want to make it better, it will be something like this. So the text of DOI and space and colon and this one. Okay. And you can see if I save this style, it won't let me save because it's already editing the important style, which is Vancouver style. You can just save a copy, save as here, and then Vancouver edited. Okay, and go back to the library, see whether it changed correctly. Yeah, so whenever there's DOI, it will display the word DOI and then followed by the DOI of that particular items that you selected in here. Can you make this happen in your computer? Do you have problem with this one? Anybody have problem formatting as this one? Are you okay? Can you make the text to display as this one? So it will be DOI text first, before the actual DOI of that item. With the other one. Anybody have a problem making the DOI? Okay. Yes. And to remind you about some tips, okay, we have some problem with the abbreviation. For example, abbreviating some names that is not the people's name, like an organization name. So you put on the comma after the other field data. Okay. If you found this problem, you put the comma after the name of the thing that you want. You don't want it to abbreviate, so you put it after this one, so it won't abbreviate anything. Okay. But if you don't use this one, so it just happens sometimes. So if you find that when you're formatting the reference and having this problem, you edit it as like this. Okay, and to formatting as the double space, you can set in Word to put on the bibliography as double spaced. Okay. And the hanging indent you can set in the style. Okay, it is in the, when you did the settings, so it's in the layout after the bibliography here, and it's under the option hanging indent here. So it will make make your article look more beautiful because it's already in this space. But it's not necessary if you don't want this kind of beautiful in your document. But anyway, if you can do it like this, so it will be more pleasing to the eyes. Okay. Okay. And I want to tell you about how to share the Word document with EndNote, because I believe some people having a problem when transferring the data between computers. So usually when you insert the items in Word, like you I'll show you this. So if I want to put this item into the Word, so I have Word program open. And I put on the new document, and whenever you want to whenever you want to put in the items, you click on the items and you click on these icons, right? The insert citation icon. Sorry, this EndNote version is X7, but anyways, similar between X6 and until X9, so it's just a little change. Okay. Click on this one, and then it will put it in the Word document. So you already know about this one, right? Okay. So actually, what it actually do in Word is that it inserts a field, a special code within the Word. So when you try to select the text, you can see that number is not actually a number, it's a field code. It's code under there. Okay, so you can show the code by clicking on right click, okay, on the number, and then click on toggle field codes here. So you can see that this one is a special code that is displayed in the Word specially. Okay, it will calculate every time that you change the text. Okay, it's not the real text that is put in Word here. So whenever you insert items into Word, it inserts a code into the Word document, and this code, it goes along with the Word file into another computer. So the other computer, even they don't have the EndNote installed, it will show correctly, okay, over there. So you don't need to copy the EndNote library together with the Word document over there, okay. But if you want to edit, you cannot without the EndNote, alright, because you need the EndNote to manually edit this code again. So EndNote, only Word with EndNote installed, it will read this one as the correct one. So if you want to get it back into the number, you click on toggle field codes again. Okay, you can only see that when you right click here, you can also see that it's not the normal text either. So it's the code that is formatted with the program to show this text. So when you want to share a library, you can copy the file into into ENLX, which is in the menu file and then compressed library. Okay, and then you can select which items you want to move it to. So if you want to send your library to me, you use this command. I believe you did this already, right? Because last time we need you to do this. Okay, and this is a special case. Whenever you want to export from EndNote into Excel, So there is no direct option for exporting the data which is stored in a node into an Excel file. You have to manually do something. So here you need to use the technique that I believe it's the only technique that you can use to export the data in the EndNote from the EndNote into the Excel file. So this technique requires you to use style as the intermediate. So you export the export the items as the style format that can be read by Excel. Okay. So it means that you export the library into the text file. The text file that Excel can read as a table is the tab separated text file, and then you can open that text file into Excel or other program that you want. Okay. So in order to do this, you need to create a new style. Okay. So to create a new style, you click on edit here, output style, and new style here. Okay. And it will be blank, everything will be blank over here. So you need to focus to the how to format the output, which is the bibliography, right? Okay. Click on the templates under the bibliography here. Okay. And then you can put in the field that you want to export. Okay. For example, if I want to export the names and the journal names, name of the author and the journal names, okay, and the year. For example, I want to export this information, maybe the abstract also, right? Usually we want this kind of information. So I click on the insert field again here, and then the other, and I want to separate between the text in the separation that Excel can read, which is the tab. So press the tab here, but it won't work because it will show focus on the other thing. So you click on this one again and then insert tab. Okay. So it will export as the author name and the tab character, and then insert the year and the tab and the title and the tab again and the abstract, which is maybe a little bit lower here. Okay, so this means you want to export the author, the year, the title, and the abstract, right? Which is quite useful when you want to create a new database of literature that you have in. Okay. Can you follow this one? Everybody won't follow? So you can you create a new style? You create a new style. Okay. Can you create a new style? And then click under bibliography templates. Okay, click on templates under the bibliography, and then there's the general here. The general here means that whether it's the journal article, whether it's book, whether it's web page, or whether it's anything, if you use this style to get output, okay. Usually in Vancouver output we want the text only, right? But this one maybe some other things also. So in the general here, you put the author, and then tab, and then year, and then tab, and then title, and tab, and abstract. Because the Excel that we are going to use as the database further, it only accepts the tab as the file, and it won't happen to mess with other things. For example, if you use the comma character to separate between the field, you may have some problem because in the abstract sometimes they put comma inside there, so it will break up when you import into Excel file. So I suggest you to use a tab. Usually this one tab works fine. So you put in other tab and then year, title, and abstract here, and you save it. Okay. okay, as another style. So I may call it export to Excel style. Okay. And then you also may set the format of the other name. Maybe sometimes you want the surname first or the other name first. It's under the other name here, option here. So this one is Jane Smith, so it will import the, sometimes you want the last name first. Like for example, you want to do the systematic review and usually you don't call people by first name over there. So you select this one as Smith Jane, something like this. So it's further formatting the names of the authors there. Okay. And then you save the style. Okay. So okay. And now you can export this into that style, which is can save as the text file. So you select the one that you want to export here, and then you click on menu file and then export. Okay. And then you put the file name, and then you select this output style as the one that you just created. Okay. The style, the export to Excel will be here that you just saved from there. Okay. And then you can type in the file name and click on save here. So if you open that file, so it will be something like this one. Something like this one, and then you can open this text file in Excel. So you just open Excel. Okay. And then open another here, computer here, open desktop, and click this one as text file. Open here, and then click. Can you get to this one? You already saved the text file, right? Can you save the text file when you export? Sorry, can you follow me? Maybe I'm going too fast. Can you export as the text file? Menu file, and then export, and then select this one as the file name that you want, and wherever you want, save as text. And this one you don't forget to put this one as the style that you just created. Okay, that you put in the tab over there. So this one if I call that export to Excel, I put select export Excel here, and then you save it onto your computer. Can you get the text file? Okay. And then can you open the Excel? Open Excel, and then click on open here, and then click on computer and go to browse here, and go to where you save the text file here, and then open. So it lets you know that you want to separate the value with the tabs, right? Because when you export, you separate the value of the field with the tab. Okay, you select on delimited here, and then click on next, and then it will auto detect that your data is separated with the tabs. Okay, and then click on next and finish. So now it will export it to the Excel. Okay, can you get to this one? You get to this one? Having a trouble? Have any problem? So I believe that everybody can do it, right? Okay. Somebody asked whether why we want to do this. So because if you do database of the search publication, especially when you do a systematic review, sometimes you got a lot of items and you want to do something like you want to assess each article for risk of bias, and you may want this data to be in the database that in the format that you can just type in what information more you want to have. Actually, in EndNote they allow you to have some data that is custom field, but it only limited you to only 10 fields. So sometimes you may have more things that you want to see more than that. So this way is another way to export the data into the database that you want to manually create it later. By the way, if you want to edit something in the items, don't forget that you need to back up regularly with the database. Otherwise, sometimes if you do something wrong, it will destroy your database. Okay. Okay, and these are the journal abbreviation that I talked before. You can manually edit the abbreviation for that library by going to the tools menu and then open term list and journal terms list. Okay, and then you need to replace the items that the EndNote is getting from the database by the file that you import the list there. Okay. I believe that's all. So other things that you may use some other program, but I still think that when you do a systematic review, the EndNote is still the option that is more flexible than other program because it allows you to put more things in, and it has the function like multiple libraries with which other program is not possible to do the multiple libraries. And when you need to share with the second reviewer, it will be very important that you have the library, different library for each person, so you can check whether the searching is the same or the article is the same thing that you get from both person or not. If you want to do the systematic review in the correct way, so the searching has to be done by two people, right? And the selection process by two people also. So something like that cannot be done in other reference management software. So this one can do a lot. So it helps in doing the systematic review. Okay, so I think that is all that I need to tell you, because I think from the last time you already have some knowledge about how to format the item. I believe you won't disappoint me because Ajahn Pattarawan will ask me that, oh, why you don't teach that thing, and then you get the wrong thing. One thing that the last thing I want to tell you is that don't believe the program. Okay, you check the output of the program each time, because EndNote is actually not smart at all. Not smart at all. It's just like Excel or something like that. So it's not formatting your thesis as the perfection. So, but Ajahn want your thesis to be as the perfection. So you need to see everything that is going on as the output of the program. So don't rely on it too much. Okay, so it is you a lot, but it's not 100% correct. You need to manually look at what it does. Okay. Any questions? Okay. No questions, right? Okay. Okay. So thank you for your time. So it's actually this one is quite short if you happens to do the last time already. Okay. And anyone, if you want to share the experience of this reference management. Our problems. Anybody have the problem that you want to share when you use it in real situation, like when you did the proposal? You have some problem when you deal with the proposal? No. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes.
For example, we are reporting a report from World Health Organization, and we like to mention the abbreviated like WHO. And then when we like to update the situation, sometimes it's stuck in the bracket, and there's a option of ignore all. I don't know why it's still come many times when I would like to abbreviate something in the text.
So you edit the other email.
No, I'm still like writing the background in my proposal, and then I said the report that in WHO in the bracket, and then sometimes when I insert the citation, it's stuck in there, and then they say this one should be in the citation instead.
But actually, so you mean you insert the name not in the WHO there,
Yes.
and you manipulate with the text. Okay. Okay, so thank you all for yes, yes.
In the option for finding the full text,
Yes, yes.
can we add other websites apart from this one?
Because he don't only subscribe to this too. So actually, if you have been in other university, you can use part of this too. But for my university, this is the setting. So this is the thing that the Mindful University look for.
So we can use this only within our Rama or
Yes,
MUI.
yes. So you need to be within the network of the university. So within this network, the library they contact you through this website. So that means it's our setting over here. But if you go to somewhere else, maybe some other library within other network, then they have some other settings. So it may be different than this one.
So if we use the digital library through e-journal Mindful, so will that and this one give different? Can we find more articles through that way, or is it almost similar?
I'm not sure, but the last time that I asked for the librarian, so they said that this is the settings that is for our university network. Maybe they have some database subscribe each year, and maybe they change something. You can ask them, but it still work within this year. So I think if this one is not need to be changed.
Other than for the protocol, actually I'm working for the association between some risk factors and disease, and I came across terms like the risk factor and the predictor and biomarker. Are they different, or how is that?
The risk factor and the biomarker and
predictor of a disease.
I believe the predictor is the general term, and predictor is like a general term, and the risk factor is the term that is used for clinical information, and the biomarker is the laboratory information. So you can use the predictor as either items, but you won't use the marker for clinical information. But it is in the same sense.
And regarding the variables that can be present in a clinical prediction tool, can there be other things apart from the risk factor of the disease?
Clinical prediction tools, for example.
Right now I'm working on contrast-induced nephropathy, and there are some risk factors that we have seen, such as the level of serum creatinine before the coronary angiography was there, or the diabetes history of the patient. There are different factors, and can it be anything like to be included in the clinical prediction tool to assess the risk for the development of contrast-induced nephropathy?
Yes, you can use anything that is, but you have to think whether it would be useful in clinical context or not. For example, if it's some kind of marker that is very difficult to measure, so it won't. In the end, it won't work. In the end, it won't be applicable in the clinical situation anyway. So you have to think about that also, whether you can use it
But then if we are seeing for a new risk factor, and is there a way to see that whether introduction of this new factor into the existing clinical prediction tool is it going to be better or not? Like there are certain risk factors already defined for a particular clinical prediction to estimate the risk for the disease, and I'm trying to see if a new risk factor that I'm interested in is going to improve the clinical prediction tool or not. How can I see that?
How can you see that? So you compare it with your own model. There are many things. You have to read about the what do they call? There are some new techniques for incorporating the evidence, the new marker, whether it's improved. Plus, what is it called? I forgot what it's called. You can ask Ajahn Tai. Ajahn Tai should know. There are some techniques in statistics that can whether the increment of that particular item is improving for the overall diagnostic value or not. Sorry.
So first of all, we can just see if the new factor is associated with the disease or not, and then next step we can see if it improves the prediction or not.
Yes.
And regarding the risk factors, in the different studies they report it differently. For example, they say most of there are, for example, in the contrast-induced nephropathy, like some of them the level of serum creatinine before the procedure and diabetes status something. Some of them are reported by many studies to be significant, but then some of the studies they report that they are not significant. So how do we deal with such conditions?
So it's the one thing that you need to consider if you want to do the clinical prediction tool in another setting of patient. So maybe you can gather it all and then you see whether the discrepancy in the result, right? So you can see whether it is happening because of maybe it's because of the patient characteristics or not, maybe because of the outcome that is detected differently or not, or something like that. So it may be used in one particular setting, but if not in another setting or not. You need to explore why it's not working in some areas and some areas working. But in the end, you may want to measure it anyway because it would be the confounding for the study, right?
And then regarding the identification for the confounders, is there any guide? Because there are so many factors, and so which ones we need to include?
This is very difficult to answer, but usually you see from the previous study whether there is more study that if all the study they think that it's not acting as a confounder, you can drop it. But if there is about maybe a half of the study they say maybe or some it's not, I think you need to consider this one and put it in your model. But if nobody says that it's nobody and no biological rationale, so you don't do it. Or if there is rationale, but nobody find that association that is associated, so you don't use it.
Is there any difference between the two approaches? For example, I start with a particular set of variables that for a particular disease, and then I use the multiple logistic regression to find which are significant in the multivariable logistic regression and reporting that those significant variables only. And the other approach such as I'm trying to see if a particular risk factor only I'm focused on one, and then I'm trying to see adjust it on the trying to find the adjusted risk ratio by adjusting for a particular set of confounders. So what will be the difference between for example, if I have a particular data set and I use these two approaches, so will it be statistically different or mathematically will it be different or
What do you mean?
In the end will the results be different if you take these two approaches? Two approaches, like one is without looking for a particular risk factor in particular, just using the multivariate logistic regression by the
You
stepwise.
selected the items. You mean you look by the statistical point and you look from the clinical point. That's from previous evidence. I think you need to do both. I think for me, you need to do both. So in order to make sure that okay, also clinical relevant and also statistical significant enough to be within the model. I think you need to consider both. Okay.
Regarding my protocol association between smoking and acute bronchial disease, these are the variables I have considered. And should I make the variable age into the categorical or just can I?
I think you should not put in order to for the data collection, you need to collect as the real data as possible. So you can classify later, but when you collect the data, you should collect
According to the age.
You don't. I mean, you don't have the patient to think
In between these.
Yes, you just recall what day is today and what is your birthday. So
And
something like that.
regarding this format for the cutoff point for the categorical, I am not because this categorical is I just sourced from the Ministry of Youth in Nepal and they provide this But is it necessary that I should use this for my study design? Because can I just like someone can ask why didn't you put from 17 to 30?
Yes, that's why I think you should put it in as it is. So categorization of the continuous variable is a debate topic. So it's better that you retrain the characteristic of the continuous variable. But in the end, if you want to, it trade off with the ease of the applying. I mean, in the end, if your equation is numbers, everybody will be very difficult to follow the numbers. So categorization is another way that is good for the final. But in the collection of the data, it's not good. I mean, you need to classify.
Can we continue using the continuous data in the final also?
It can be. So have you ever looked at the clinical prediction rule that has the application? I mean, some websites and that they apply the clinical prediction rule and they let the user to input the number directly. So that is another way that you don't categorize at all. But in order to apply for the user, you need to make something like an application for the user to be more easy. Otherwise, if you put it in the print and you want them to calculate the equation by themselves, so it's very confusing and your work will be very hard to follow.
That means for the data collection, we just ask them their age. And
Yes.
last we can categorize.
Usually in age, we we measure the date of birth
Yes.
and the date of study.
And regarding also, there are some study factor, right? And so many study factor I've seen by different of the study. Regarding those, how can I select that?
Which variable you should select?
Yeah.
So first you need to review whether previous article or the easy one is that you see whether previous article they collect on this variable or not. So if they collect, you collect also.
Because I have regarding the study, some of I sourced for the literature review, and there are altogether I got more than 40 to 50 variables.
You need to take a look at this one. Usually if you put in table 1 and there will be something, for example age, that many our study reported, something that some study reported, so you select from there. So you need to make a table which factor that this study measured. Make a check box and it will guide you. If the check box is small, you select this one, something like that.
And regarding this, regarding the different result regarding age, sex, should we inform this in our literature review course?
Actually, it should be in your literature. To be completed, you need to do this also. And you need to see whether how age affect the outcome. So it's more like a biological plus explanation.
But regarding the age also, there are some of the articles say that younger adults are prone to suffer. Some define older are prone to suffer. Do I have to inform both of the results or just
Yes.
result?
You need to explain that this variable has the conflicting of the result from previous studies. So it's possible in both ways. But that still means that this variable should be collected at your study because there are some discrepancy. Although the study are conflict, whether this one work or this one is not work or this one is happening in the opposite direction. So this means that you need to collect this information. But if all the study they tell that this factor is not associated and all the studies say like this, so it means no necessary to get that information into your study. Okay.
And regarding this, we should keep the information regarding this by the previous article in that literature review, right?
Yes. You need to get these information that you want to collect. You look at previous article, what they collect, and you will know. As I told you, that usually I will take a look at previous study, what they reported, age, sex, or something factor that they collected. So we'll collect that one also. And then you won't miss anything. You can have the table that show it off, and if it's too much for you to collect data, you can see which should be prioritized first, and you deselect something that is not prioritized. Or maybe some factor is very difficult to measure, you can have that reason later on.
But first we have to mention.
Yes, but first you need to see what others are measuring, and then you follow them, and then you see the factor that you need to collect. Okay. Yes, you have some problem?
Yeah, but not. This is not about the. Is that okay?
Okay. Yes.
Actually, I want to ask you about the hearing loss.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so actually my mom had recently has a hearing loss because
Is it sudden or
it's a sudden hearing loss because we just
one side?
I'm not sure because no
side?
because because we dive on December is about a trauma
After the diving.
but it's not right after the diving, but it's a few days after the diving. And the problem is that we dive together, and during the descent it was fine, but when she ascended, she has I saw she had epistaxis, and the next day she had a dizziness, and
Usually, if it's related, it will usually getting better later.
It should be. I saw
It should be.
I read some journals too, and I already gave her some medication about for her dizziness, and
Mhm.
It was getting better.
Mhm.
And she met an ENT doctor back in Indonesia too, and they gave her methylprednisolone and tap off doses, and
I think maybe they did she get the test?
yeah,
Audiogram.
I already asked her to take audiometry, and she already had it for
What
3 times.
What's the result?
This is the result actually. And she also met a professor in neurootologist, and she asked her to go to hyperbaric test. This is this is on January.
This side.
She had it 3 months,
Oh.
January, February, and March, so 3 times audiometry.
It's on this side only, the left side. Usually, it's not better than have some injection in the ear.
They had nothing, and I tried to ask her to seek another doctor, but the problem, she already had the most professor one in.
So everybody not going to do
Yeah.
anything. Usually in the journals, this one is very conflicting result.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Because usually in previous because this one at the beginning there are the trials that giving the systemic steroid.
Yeah, right. They
But
gave her-
it's based on very small number of patients and very very
It's various doses.
the design is not good.
Yeah.
It is back in maybe about 100 years ago,
Oh.
and people just follow that after
Okay.
that. But right now, if the
This is
patient,
the reason. Okay.
the if the patient is not better, usually it followed by the injection of the ear. So rather than just putting on a systemic steroid, so you put the topical one, but you have to inject through the tympanic membrane.
I tried to bring her
Discuss this.
here.
Sure. If you want
But-
to the injection, I can arrange you for that. But this is like a backup plan,
Backup plan.
something like that. So it sometimes works, sometimes
Sometimes
does
it
not
doesn't.
work. Yeah. But did you talk this one with the doctor there?
Yeah, I mean it's just recently, and I cannot go back, right? So I just talk from chats, and I try to help her. From she
Did
already
she ask for the injection? Told the injection
no,
in the
nobody
Maybe
advised her for injection.
ear. Maybe you can. I think it's not that. It's more. It's very easy procedure to do. So she can. I think she can ask somebody
for injection.
for injection in the ear. Because it's just injection.
It's
so
just it's a small
she
injection. It's just like
she
nothing.
should not be flying for just injection.
Oh no, I mean she
And
want
maybe
to come here for
she have
for
some
something else.
problem with the flying
Flying,
again, and
yeah.
the problem will worsen up.
Okay.
I believe you need her to get another audiogram. If you don't believe in this one, you get another at another hospital.
Other hospital.
And whether it's the same thing or not. If
It's
you
just the
don't-
same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. So
Oh.
yeah, I wonder, because this is the one also selling the hearing aids. Yeah. So she wonder if she needs something like the hearing aids or what.
There's no other company to do the audiometry. Yeah.
No. I mean they only trust this one. So
Are there any? I believe it's many
yeah, there are
hospitals
many
there.
hospitals, yes, but the
All of
professor
them
only,
going to this one.
Yeah, asking for that. It's very it's very difficult. I don't know what to
Did
do.
you go ask her for the university hospital?
The neurootologist that she went for the advice, the hyperbaric one, is a University of Indonesia already. So yeah.
So hyperbaric is another option
Yeah,
that you
but
can.
I mean the tinnitus is gone after the 30 times of hyperbaric, but now
But it's still
the hearing
is not
impairment, yes, is
recovered.
not improving.
Maybe she can try the injections. I think you should tell her to ask the doctor directly that she wants injection.
Injection.
Because it's very easy procedure that she can try.
Sure.
Okay. But it's not. It's the backup solution, so it might not work as well.
Okay. Do you have other option?
Other options? No, I think maybe the injections and you already did the hyperbaric, right?
Yeah.
Do you have some other disease as well?
Apart from the hearing in the ear? No.
I mean, like precursor of stroke or something.
No, not at all. So I just confused. This one is just post diving and just suddenly.
And it happens suddenly.
Yeah, it happens suddenly. So right after the tinnitus and dizziness and it's hearing impairment.
Another condition is like a round window rupture.
Yeah, it's round and oval window rupture, right?
But it's very difficult
Very difficult
to diagnose. You have to
Yeah.
open up and it may be not worth opening up.
Yeah.
But the injection could be worthwhile. I think.
Just try the injection first.
Yes.
And the doctor just right away is what how many time injection? Is it just one time?
Usually it's about there are many regimen, but usually we inject 3 times weekly.
Weekly. So 3 weeks.
3 weeks, and the injection procedure is very easy. Just that you have to just have the microscope, which I believe everybody with the ear doctor have that microscope all the time. Okay, and just the medication, which is actually is methylprednisolone.
Okay. Should she go to just normal ENT or the neurologist one?
She can go to both.
Both.
Either one will do. But I'm not sure about in Indonesia doctor whether it, usually because usually in Thailand when you graduate ENT you need to do anything. You can even need to explore and see whether the round window is normal or abnormal. So that's the competency that you need to have to do. So but I'm not sure about the Indonesia. But it should be the same
competency.
Because it's very common thing happening. Just the injection is very easy to do if you have the tool.
Okay, I will ask her for that.
Yeah, just talk to the doctor directly that you want the injection.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's more option left. This one is the thing that in the journal they do for the backup plan.
Okay. Will she need any hearing aid if the injection doesn't work?
The problem is that she will use the other ear. Usually,
as the compensation.
Yeah, if the patient have one ear that is hearing well, so she will have the problem when using the other side as a hearing aid, because the hearing aids they just like a glass, so it will produce some noise even. Some ringing noise also, and she need to be informed that it will happen. And sometimes she will be frustrating because the other one can hear very well, and she may decide that this one may be difficult to use the hearing aid or something like that. So you need to tell her about this, that it's working, but she needs some time to adapt to it. Usually many people that I see, they just cannot adapt to it, and because the other ear can hear
Can hear
very
very
well,
well.
so they decided to okay, no need more.
Okay.
But for the point of view of the otology is that the nerve need to be like trained.
Train.
So if you not using that one, it will keep going
degrade,
worse.
worse, yeah.
Okay, but from the patient's perspective, I find that only a small amount of patient that can adapt to the hearing aid. Okay, so especially in patient with unilateral hearing loss like this.
Is, yeah.
If it's bilateral, she will decide okay it work anyway. But when it is unilateral and the other side is good, so this kind of difficult situation because it is low acceptance by the patient.
Okay.
But as I said, need to talk with the doctor there first and just tell them directly that I want the injection.
Oh, okay. I'll let her know and try the injection first.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, maybe I'll just make her appointment here.
Yeah, sure. We can have.
No, because she already planned to come here.
Sure. If she come in, we'll do the audiometry again.
Is that okay?
It's okay.
Okay.
We do it every day.
Oh, okay.
And it's very easy procedure.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Only one thing that is quite difficult is opening into the middle ear. We can do it also, but I'm not sure whether it works or not because opening up may be difficult thing, and she has to be admitted and
just for trying
and
the
maybe
middle ear.
We sometimes when we open the
tympanic membrane.
Tympanic membrane, it may cause some injury during the opening.
Okay.
So it may be further, but if it's not working anyway, just open. You should usually to open to see is okay, but she need to be hospitalized.
Okay. Okay.
That is only one. That everything is difficult to do. Other things very easy to do.
Yeah.
And like injection is very easy. Don't need to.
No, it's not hospital. It's just small procedures.
Yes, a small procedure. Some ear doctor here. Sometimes they use like a continuous injection.
Okay.
So that is meaning that you have to come back to the hospital many times.
Okay.
Because the regimen is not finalized. So many regimen on this hearing loss.
Many options.
Yes. Okay. But the most thing that people do is inject methylprednisolone 3 weeks consecutively.
Okay.
Once a week. But as I told you, it's some debate going on, and whether the giving the steroid at the first place is still a debate because it's based on the old.
Yeah, it's a conservative.
Old RCT with 30 patients, very small number of patients, and measurement is not good at all. So this current situation is the debate whether it's the disease that is already happening, and maybe some people recover anyway without any
methylprednisolone.
Yes.
Because in some journals that I saw also in like they have a different regimens like up to 250 milligrams, and this one is only 60. That is why I'm like.
What medication?
The methylprednisolone. It's different milligrams.
Yes, but many. There's some review in some journal. I cannot remember the journal name, but there one review that review the regimen, and it's like 16 regimen, something like that. Many regimens.
Yeah, I saw that article too. So
many things that you can do. Okay. But the most thing that I see people here doing is that injection every week, 3 weeks. And the medication is the methylprednisolone because it's the most potent one that we have. Okay. Some people use dexamethasone, which is less potent.
Less potent, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Double. Oh, you summer.